there's hope, ladies, because here we are today on my channel. We're going to give you some tips for finding that good quality man. What is that, man? What's up, fam? Welcome back to my channel today for another video. This one today is all about love. I cannot tell you guys enough how many DMs, emails, messages I get from my incredible female online community, always asking me for either dating advice, relationship advice, and so forth. And so I thought it would be fun to share some good qualities to look for when looking for a good man. Who's with me, sisters? I can't do this video alone, so I've got to bring in my expert, Steve.
Did you call my name, sweetheart?
Hey, babe, you promised me you're gonna be serious, though.
Yes, I'm very serious. I've never taken anything more serious. I think, the most serious thing in life is just picking a good partner, having a good relationship. And then after having a great relationship, maybe having some kids, maybe having like 4 or 5, depending on how many kids you want to have.
Dang.
But if you're going to have that many, make sure you got a big house with a lot of land because you got to let those rugrats run around. Otherwise, they'll piss you off real quick.
Taking my Apple Watch off for this. This is gonna get, whew.
Ladies, as you're thinking about a good man, a perfect man, before we get started, I just want to throw some examples out there for you. That right there is a good-looking man. If you go for broke, maybe just go for good looks. Right there is a studly dude. I mean, that dude's 50 years old, and dang, he's hotter than...
Steve!
If that's not your type, get yourself a champion. Get yourself somebody who's a physical specimen, who's just a winner. It's like when you have game night with your friends, all you want to do is beat that other couple. That's all that matters. It don't matter how your relationship is. You want a winner. Last but certainly probably the best. Something like that right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
A little bit of a long beard, but you know what that beard says? Is I can commit to growing out this beard, and I can commit to this relationship. That's the guy next door. Kind of looks like me, doesn't he?
Okay, are you done joking around?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Here's some qualities to look for when looking for a good man. I say number 1 is reliability. Reliability meaning, if you're going to hopefully find Mr. Right and the one who you want to marry, I feel like that person has to have this ability to be a reliable person. Somebody who's going to stay in this with you for the long haul. Somebody who's going to obviously be the father to your children.
Yep.
So reliability is just so, I think, important. And it just gives us this sense of security when a man is just like reliable. You can count on him. He'll show up. He'll be there. I think that's important.
Dude, I always had a rule where if somebody flaked, I just deleted their number. But you flaked on our first date, but because you got in a car wreck. And then I was like,
I did.
And I was going to delete your number. And then I was like, I don't think she would make that up. So I gave you
Yeah.
another chance, and now we're married.
Somebody who's reliable is going to create a sense of structure for you and your kids. And it gives you this sense of like just security. You know what I
Right.
mean? Somebody who is going to be in it for the long haul, who's not just a role model and an example for your future and your kids, but somebody who's like, all right, I'm going to figure out this structure and I'm going to be reliable and I'm going to show up every day to ensure that we are really like following through, but also being the leader of the house.
Yeah,
I think
for
a
sure.
man, that's important for a man.
You're a reliable man.
Number 2.
You should pick somebody who's trustworthy. I cannot stand as a guy, like I have sisters, and there's a lot of women in your family as well. You hear stories about these guys and you're like, yeah, he's really cute and this and that, but I don't really know if he's like telling me the truth. I'm like, dude, if you don't know if you can trust this cat, I mean, trust I feel like is something that's earned too. And if at the beginning of when you meet somebody, you already don't pick up a trustworthy vibe, bounce. I don't know, I just feel like people, they tiptoe in a relationship and they're like, well, I don't want to touch the dam because there's a crack in it. And if I touch it, it's going to fall. And I'm like, dude, that means your relationship is not in a good place.
When you're in a relationship, you are saying, I am in it. I am trusting this thing that we are embarking on together, which is love. I'm going to trust that our love is going to carry us through, but you have to be able to show up for it. And so when it starts to the waters get a little crazy and you need your man there and you're trusting that if you have the worst day of your life, I can come home and I can talk to you about it. And I'm going to trust that like you will listen and you will be there for me. The next quality for me for sure is forgiveness. I think that is so important to have in the foundation of your relationship, is knowing that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to butt heads. You're going to, regret some maybe things that you said or done. But for both parties to just be quick to forgive the other person.
Guys, we have a hard time wrestling with our pride. Like our pride is what keeps us from forgiving.
Yeah.
And our pride is also what keeps our ego, from apologizing too. So if you have a guy who is able to accept where he's wrong, but also be forgiving when you're in the wrong, man, that's just a great quality to work with, because then that's somebody who you can have problems. Like you're going to have problems in your relationship, but that's somebody you can build through your problems.
Another quality I think is also really important is faithfulness.
I think it goes without saying, like faithfulness as far as like not cheating on you, but then there's the other faithfulness where it's like they're there for you. They're just there for you. They're in life with you. They're doing life with you. One of my favorite things about like characteristics about God is that, in your relationship with God, as a human, you fail, or you can go seasons where you're not talking to God as much. But it says that he's faithful. And so he walks with us even when we don't want to walk with him. He's like, I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to be there with you. And when you're ready to talk to me again, I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, man. But you shouldn't be abusing people that are faithful either.
But that's so good to say, is that to try to lead that same example. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if God is perfect and we're striving to be more like God, it's like you can do that in your relationship and just be there for that person, even if they're in a season where they're like, I just don't want to talk to you right now about it. Or just always making it known like I am faithful and I am here for you. I think that is just a really great analogy that you said. Another important one, supportiveness of each other's individual goals and dreams. When you start really caring about somebody, and the more that they grow on you, the more that you love them and get to know them, it's like their aspirations become your aspirations. Like you're rooting them on because you so genuinely care about them, want them to be happy. And I also just believe that when you are in a relationship that's committed, you just realize that this whole thing with love, it's a teamwork environment. It's a teamwork thing. So how can we, instead of competing against each other and butting heads, how can we come to the table when we have arguments and fights, and let's figure out this thing together, not separately, because we are a team, we are one. And I think that that's always been really important for us, because we've had so many different seasons where maybe we don't agree on something, or something's happening in that current season that's just making us butt heads more and fight more and argue more. At the end of the day, we always come back to the fact that we are united, we are one, and we resolve it by bringing our differences to the table and working through it like a team.
And I think this is one that some couples, struggle with. It's like there's a competitiveness, and it's like I have to be the one who's the breadwinner, or I have to be the one who is like, I remember there was a period in our life where like when we were first started dating, where it's like I got this gig
Going
on TV,
head to head,
and then you got this agent in LA, and it was like we were
Head to
always
head,
kind of competing with each other. And then we realized, dude, we're so much better when we just support each other and we just like get hyped for each other's wins. A great man once said, even when we butt heads, we don't have to be butt heads. You know what I mean?
What great man said that? You can obviously go on and on with qualities days after days, but we're going to just kind of keep this short, but end it with, I wanted to share something that we've gained from the other person that we feel has made our relationship better.
For me, what really like was an initial attraction to you was like I profiled you to be this girl who was really pretty, and like you probably had a lot of options as far as dudes is concerned, and I figured you were this Dallas girl who was dating like guys older than you, had money, and that's kind of just like how I profiled.
I'll never
Saz.
forget when you told me that. I was like,
I could not have been more wrong, except for the part where you're beautiful. That part I was very right about, and you still are.
thank you, baby.
But I think you just always were. I didn't have to question your faithfulness, your trustworthiness, and all of that was like you were loyal. You were just always so loyal. Like you were with me, and you're always honest. I mean, we didn't talk about honesty, but just so honest. Like you helped me even be more honest. Where it's like I've never been somebody who just like lied, but just like you would just be honest about stuff up front, and it's like we would just address things and we would move on. And so I just never questioned that. And being in a relationship with somebody like that, man, it's nice. Like it's really nice.
I love you, cowboy. Something that I admired about Stevie early on in what started as a friendship and then grew into obviously what it is today.
The brotherhood.
One of the first things I noticed about you was that you never ever put me down in front of other people, ever. And even if we were butting heads or disagreeing, we never would put each other down in public. Now, I would do that because that's kind of how I was prior to meeting you. I would always just like, I don't want to I'm not PDA, or I would find comfort in kind of like poking and jabbing at my significant other. And I just noticed like how unhealthy and toxic that is. And then even to do that in front of your kids, like that's something that I feel like we really set that foundation. And it really was because you addressed a lot of those things early on and said, look, we shouldn't be, beating each other down, even if it's for fun or it's a joke. It's like we should be building each other up. And there's nothing a man truly respects more than when his girl can like really bring him up here in front of his friends, by like celebrating him, encouraging him, boosting him. And so I really noticed that meant a lot to you early on. And I've been able to just kind of become more of that, and it's just natural to me now. Like that's just how we just know what lines not to cross. And especially in the public eye, it's like we'll have our differences behind closed doors, but I never want to put you down in front of other people. And it was all thanks to you for setting that tone for us early on in the relationship.
Sweet.
I love you, babe.
Before we wrap this up, man, make sure you get yourself somebody give you a little sweet sugar. You know what I mean? If you kiss her lips and you come away thinking, man, I just kissed a lemon, that ain't right for you, man. Get you someone you kiss that tastes like mom's apple pie. Not mom's apple pie. Maybe that's a little bit weird. But y'all know what I'm talking about.
All right, guys.
Brother.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this on our channel. It's just a little bit of storytelling time with Saz and Steve. And so don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and let us know if you have any relationship questions that we may be able to answer in the comments below. You can also check out our podcast, The Good Life with Stevie and Sazan. We have a new episode every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts, so check that out. We love you all so much, and we appreciate all the support that we get. We love y'all. Until next time. Mwah. Mwah. Bye, y'all.
What's good on you?
Let's trade.
Wow.
You wear this.
No.
We've definitely become more Texan, wouldn't you say? Now, when I talk like this, I think it's pretty on point. I can't do a lot of other accents, but this one I can do.
There's a lot of things you do wrong, but I think you're doing that right there.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
There's a lot of people asking me, where are the good men at? Where'd they go? Well, they ain't at the club. That's all I know.